helping us with everything. So, Sophia, now you can time me. I am reminded today of a day approximately 16 years ago, April 20th, 1995, a day after the tragedy happened in Oklahoma. Many of you who are here in this room met at a hotel in Diamond Bar by the name Shiloh Inn at 9 o'clock in the morning. And the purpose then was simply to bring the Muslim leadership together on one table. And at that time, all of you collectively drafted or authored a charter simply saying this, that we commit and we pledge to work together. That was the beginning of Islamic Shura Council of Southern California, a group of volunteers, some crazy, some not, mostly young, some not, decided that instead of Muslim leadership meeting only in times of crises, what can we do to create an environment where Muslim leadership and organizational representatives can, on a sustained basis, meet with each other in order to keep each other abreast and aware of what they do and don't, and what needs to be and ought to be done for the community. And the rest is history. For 16 years, may Allah bless each one of those who have been working in Shura Council in variety of ways and capacities to serve the community at large. Particularly the Majlis, the senior Majlis, I must say, Dr. Muzammil Siddiqui, Dr. Mahir Hatut, Dr. Ahmad Sakar, Imam Said Qazwini, and his father, Sayyid Murtada Qazwini, and many others who at that time got together and established this organization, and then since then continue to work for the sake of Allah and for serving the community at large. I am honored to serve as the executive director for the past 6 years. Somehow you all tolerated me since 2005 in this position, and I thank you for that. Having said this, my dear brothers and sisters, Council over these past many years has evolved from simply a forum of meeting and greeting each other and having a cup of tea and having baklava together, to informing each other of each other's activities and challenges and aspirations and accomplishments, to in fact creating a model of working together despite of the challenges and despite of the differences. And that model, I believe, is unique, is rare for the Muslim community to experience in North America. However, in these past 10 years, our issues, our work, our challenges have transformed in a dramatic way. And you all are well aware, particularly in these 10 years, things have changed. And Council itself also has evolved in this past decade. Among various things that Shura Council has done and continue to do and will be doing, it is always in the context of leveraging our potential or possible potential for the greater good and optimizing all the resources that we have. And there are so many different ways to accomplish and achieve this. None of them are easy. Collaborative work is never easy. When people of various orientations and inclinations and expertise come together and then try to craft and draft a particular way of working for the greater and larger good, it's always difficult. It's never easy. And I urge you to take a look at the booklet that you have, which briefly lists of things that we have done over this past year and also in the past. However, in these past few years, and we applaud and welcome Sharif Baka for the dinner. Thank you so much, Sharif. In these past few years, however, a deliberate attempt is made by the Shura Council to see what are the key focus areas that we can focus on, that A is essential, 2 is critical for our collective growth among several areas, and I'm going to share only 2-3 today for the sake of time. One is the good governance. If somebody were to ask me what is the most critical and essential thing that we ought to be doing, we meaning masajid, we meaning organizations ought to be doing today, the two-word answer that was concluded by the Majlis over several meetings and several discussions was good governance. That our organizations need to govern themselves in the best possible manner with the least resources that we have for the greater good and for the optimum results. That, in a sense, was the focus. That, in a sense, remains and will remain the focus for the next few years. And in this area, there were a couple of things that Council undertook, baby steps, but nevertheless in that direction. 3 areas in the context of good governance. One for the individual, the leaders and the imam, the lay leaders, those who are the board members and board presidents, and many of you who are here today are those. And then there are those who are imams, who are spiritual leaders in our masajid. And 3 is the organization itself, the masajid itself. For the leaders, over a period of time, several leadership development programs were done. And will continue to happen, inshallah. But the content that was generated over a period of time in 3 or 4 years, in these past 3-4 years, is now archived, and thanks to Islamicity, who were able to partner with Shura Council and archive that entire content in electronic format that then will be able to help our imams, our lay leaders, our potential volunteers, and all others to be able to benefit at maximum from this resource. Secondly, Council in its retreat also decided to author a manual for the operations of masajid. It just so happens that when you put together these 3 words, the acronym comes out to be MOM, Masajid Operating Manual. And moms typically and always do wonders. They organize us, they keep us together, and they make things happen. So inshallah ta'ala, this operating manual will be available to the entire masajid in Southern California and beyond for the larger and greater benefit of all of us. Number 2, also a major focus of the Council was to strengthen the existing relationships that we have within the community and outside, and also build new relationships with others. And I'll give you 2 examples. When this banquet was announced, the first table that was sold by the Latter-day Saints of the Church of Jesus Christ, my Mormon brothers and sisters, where are you? Raise your hands. Build the existing relationships and make new ones. When Peter King announced that they are going to hold the hearings on the potential possible radicalization of Muslims, Shura Council authored a memo in a matter of less than 48 hours. Over 128 interfaith leading leaders in Southern California signed on and sent that to Peter King. Build relationships, strengthen relationships. Islamic Center of Temecula Valley was harassed and intimidated by hateful bigots in the area. People from West Los Angeles, age 70 and above, drove 100 miles middle of the night and stayed in Temecula Valley from Progressive Jewish Alliance, Interfaith Communities United for Justice and Peace, and so on and so forth, and went to Temecula Valley and stayed until the decision was made in favor of Islamic Center of Temecula Valley. 5 years ago, 11 plaintiffs in Southern California, led by Shura Council, asked FBI to inform us if and whether or not we are being surveilled in an unwarranted way. They did not give an answer. We requested them, availed all resources that are available to us for about 2 years, no results. Then we filed a lawsuit. We filed a lawsuit that was unfortunately not resulted in the fashion that we wanted, but we now know for a fact that the US government and the FBI lied to the court in hiding information and sources that they gathered on these 11 plaintiffs, that includes member masajid of Shura Council and Shura Council itself, and individuals, 6 individuals in the community. How did that happen? It happened because Shura Council maintained and retained a vibrant relationship with American Civil Liberties Union, who did this work pro bono without a penny costing us and our community. Relationships. Lastly, Council also recognized that in addition to strengthening our institutions inside in masajid and organizations, building the relationships outside with the community at large, that we also have an obligation to share our faith in the most vibrant way that is possible, which can serve as the best inoculation against Islamophobia that is becoming most pervasive and hurtful and damaging to the society at large. And as a result, Council last year in 2010 launched this public service announcement campaign in the month of Ramadan and also in the month of October for the Open Mosque Day, whereby the Council bought time with the support of many of you last year to announce and share the blessings of Ramadan and the invitation to the Southern California at large to come and visit the masajid during the Open Mosque Day, and many of you attended this. As a result, the interaction between the society at large and Muslim communities exponentially grew. Again, it is sharing the faith in the context of dispelling those myths and fallacies that exist against and for Muslims and Islam. Inshallah ta'ala, in this year we will be able to add more of these PSAs in order to create an environment whereby greater number of people can come and interact with us as Muslim community. I urge you to take a look at the listing of the things that we did in this past year in 2010, which is simply a collection of activities, not in entirety. Lastly, I want us to imagine that all of this has happened with the help of you, by the grace of Allah, with only two people. Namely, Sister Elaine Yunus, whom I salute from the bottom of my heart. Can she come in if possible? Sister Elaine Yunus is the office manager, is my assistant, is the banquet leader, is everything. May Allah grant you the best of health and best of courage and best of rewards in this life and the life hereafter for everything that you do for the community at large. Without Sister Elaine, there is no Shura Council. Jazakumullah khairan. So I want us to imagine, what if you all were to strengthen Shura Council by virtue of another two people or another three people? What other things can we possibly and collectively achieve at a time when our faith, our community is being challenged in many, many directions and from many, many variety of ways? I am a firm believer, and I hope and pray that you too believe with me in this. No one single one of us, nor any organization, is capable and be able to address and combat the tsunami of hate and challenges that is confronting us. None of us are capable, including Shura Council. But I firmly believe that if we pool our resources together and work together, there is no power on earth that can stop us in defending, preserving, and promoting our faith. Jazakumullah khairan.